I'll tell you, Mahmoud, he's a guy that, a lot of people might not know about, but when I tell you he's really gonna show up on the scene this year. I love that guy. He's been working harder than ever this year, and I think he's ready to shine. Mahmoud, he's a really versatile player. They could line him up inside, and but he's really special rushing off the edge. So I think people will start to see his real skill set this year.
Go ahead, stand straight up. They'll be able to hear you.
Oh, I got you.
All right, we'll go over here to our left along the aisle.
Yeah, Drew DeArmond, 97.7 The Zone Radio in Huntsville, Alabama. I asked Coach Mullen about Jaden Hill. I'll ask you, what kind of role do you see him playing in the secondary? And then also as a defense, obviously it wasn't a vintage Gator year last year. Of course, you guys are returning a lot of guys on that side of the ball. What have you guys said as a group that you need to do to improve this season defensively?
Well, the biggest thing, I say this spring, it was a really good spring, it really helped since, last year we weren't able to have a spring and kind of be together as a group the whole year. But I'll definitely say this year, the guys really gelled this spring, and, I think we look really good this spring. Guys are we became more of a unit, and, I believe good teams, you have to have a bond, and it starts off the field, and I think it correlates on the field. And, guys are getting closer together, and guys have been working harder than ever, so I'm excited to see what our group does this year.
Hey, Zach, we'll go over here on the left-hand side all the way to the wall. Mike?
Hey, Zach, Mike Bianchi, Orlando Sentinel. I guess it's been worked out where Florida is going to play UCF in a future football series. Being in the state of Florida, you've heard UCF fans sort of barking at the Gators, wanting to play the Gators. What do you think about that series, even though you won't be around to play in it?
I think it'll be good. To show them, who runs the state of Florida. But, I think that'll be a pretty good series, and I'm looking forward to watching them play.
Who does run the state of Florida?
The Gators, definitely.
Okay, we're going to stay right next door. We'll stay over on the same side.
Yeah, hey, Zach. Edgar Thompson, Orlando Sentinel. Couple things. What are we going to see from DeMarcus Bowman? What have you seen from him so far?
He's a guy that, he came in during the spring, and, he's done some really good things for us. I'm excited to see how he can help our offense. He's definitely a versatile weapon, and, he's a pretty talented kid.
What have you found out and learned from the NIL the first few weeks?
The thing about the NIL, it's a lot of things that, we're still trying to figure out, and I'm sure, there'll be a lot of rule changes in the future. But, the big thing about NIL, I think it's a great opportunity, but we're all still kind of in the learning process, us as players and coaches as well. So we're just trying to take it one day at a time and, figure things out.
Okay, Zach, we're going to go to our right alongside the aisle here.
Hey, Zach. Adam here with Kentucky Sports Radio. Your offense this year, what are you seeing from those guys? I know you all lost a lot of receivers, Kyle Trask, obviously. What does Emory Jones bring to the table? And you mentioned Bowman. Do you think you're offensively are going to be more ground-oriented this year?
I would say, I know we lost some key pieces last year, but guys, they're ready to fill into those roles. It's people that were behind them, that been working hard. They're ready to step up for us. And I say for Emory, I'm really excited for Emory. He hasn't really played a lot this year, or the last few years, so people might not know what to expect from him. But I seen nothing but greatness from Emory. So I'm really excited for him to get his opportunity and to see him shine.
Okay, Zach, we'll stay in the center section on the left-hand side.
Hey, Zach. Ben Fredrickson from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. We saw last season against Missouri how fired up Coach Mullen can get. at times when he's feels like he's protecting his guys. Do you guys feed into that energy and his enthusiasm and different ways that he shows it, his unpredictability? Does it help you guys as a team?
Well, one thing I say about my coach, he loves his guys, and he might have got out of hand that day, but one thing I really say is that he really loves us, and he'll go to war for us, and a coach that'll battle for his players, who wouldn't want to play for a coach like that? So, I really love Coach Mullen, and I like the edge he brings and the fire he brings.
Okay, we'll go center section on the right-hand side.
Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South. What was the most frustrating part last year about your performance defensively as a whole? Or what was maybe the toughest moment for you guys where if you felt like you were holding back, the offense?
I say, just communication issues as a whole on defense. But we've been working really hard to improve on those things. This spring, we really come together as a group, and I think we fixed a lot of those issues. So I'm excited for the defense this year.
Okay, Zach, we'll go down here to the front row on the left. Tom.
Hey, Zach, Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat Gazette. So you say you're really excited for Emory. You've gone up against him in practice. How might the offense look different? What are his qualities that he's going to help this offense with, and how might it look a little different than last year? Thanks.
Well, I know, to answer your question, I'll say, over the last couple of years, when Emory came in the game, it's on certain packages, like he'll run the ball and things like that. So people think he's just a runner, probably, but, Emory has one of the best arms I've seen, since I've been here. So I think he brings everything to the table. And this offense, our running backs in the backfield, we have a loaded backfield. Damian, Malik, Naquan, Bowman, our backfield, we have a lot of weapons in the backfield. So I think we'll be pretty balanced on offense. And we also have a group of great receivers this year. So I think we have a lot of weapons, and I'm looking forward to see those guys execute this year.
Okay, additional questions for Zach, raise your hand. We'll get a microphone. We'll go ahead and go back over here in the center section on the left aisle.
Pardon me. Zachary, I wanted to go back and get your thoughts on Jaden Hill, who's from my area at Bob Jones. We're from Huntsville, Alabama, my radio station. How have you seen him grow as a player, and what kind of role do you see him playing?
I've seen Jaden grow a lot, since he's gotten to the University of Florida. He's put on size, he's gotten a lot bigger, and you could thank our strength coach for that, Coach Savage, best in the business. But I really think Jaden's up for a big year. I seen him working really hard this offseason, and I think he'll be alongside Kyer, and I think those are two of the best in the SEC. I'll take them any day, so I'm excited to see them.
Zach, you mentioned in an earlier interview sitting on the field at the SEC championship game. What motivation does being right there and having a chance give you heading into this season?
It's big motivation, man. Like I said earlier, I'll never forget that moment. Out of that SEC championship game, I'm standing on the field watching the confetti, and I was like, it hurt in the moment, but I was like, in my head, I said, we'll be back. And, I kind of kept that in the back of my mind this offseason. And, I think our guys, they seen how close we were and, how small the margin of error is to win the SEC title. So, we taking that into account, and we've been working hard this offseason. So I'm excited.
Zach, we appreciate your time. Good luck this year.
Thank you.
You have to like somebody who's a couple of minutes early. We have Zach Carter, defensive lineman, University of Florida. He has a few comments he wants to make to start off.
We're about 40-some days away from kickoff. I'm really excited, man, you know, just to get back in the swamp finally, and, you know, the 90,000 screaming out there. I'm really excited, man.
Okay, do we have anybody with questions? Okay, we'll go right here. Zach, front row.
Hey, Zach, Tyler Shaw with KBTX in College Station. You were talking about, 40-something days away, you're excited. When you look at this year in particular, how exciting is it that, you'll be playing in kind of a more normal season, more fans, you're going to be playing in fuller stadiums as opposed to last year?
You know, it's pretty exciting, man. Last year it was pretty tough. You know, it was a tough year for everybody, you know. It wasn't the same, honestly. You know, being out there, you're used to seeing thousands and thousands of stadium packed, and then it's just like 20,000 people out there. So, you know, I know Gator Nation was hurting last year. I know they all wanted to be there, but I'm just really excited to get out there in front of them, man. We love the fans. They make a huge difference when we're out there. So I'm looking forward to that, definitely.
Zach, front row to your left.
David Waters with Gators Breakdown. Zach, talk about the approach on defense between the coaches, and you guys are trying to bounce back from a disappointing season last year. The approach from the coaches and you guys yourselves this spring.
Man, this spring was great for our defense, man, honestly. You know, the guys all spring, you know, we were juiced every day, energy, you know, guys playing hard, and, you know, the biggest thing is, you know, guys coming together. I think the biggest thing about a unit is being close off the field, and, you know, I think guys started to come together more, and you could see, like, the cohesiveness on the field, honestly. You know, we knew we had some things to work on this year on defense, definitely, and I think spring was a great step forward. Defense looked pretty good this spring, so we're looking to, going into camp, we're looking to bounce right back where we started, you know.
We'll stay here on your left, second row.
Alrighty, it's been a different Kentucky team you've faced at Florida since you've been there, more tightly contested games. Has that changed the perception of Kentucky's football program at Florida?
Not really. You know, when I see Kentucky, you know, I just think of Kentucky. Since I've been there. Are you asking like how? Are you saying because it's been like different teams every year, like
closer games?
Oh, closer games. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah, that's fine. You know, Kentucky. You know, it's always, you know, it's been more closer games. You know, the last few years, but you know, it's the SEC. You know, teams come to play week in and week out, and we just gotta fight hard and step up to the plate every week.
To your right, front row.
Hello, Zach. David Cloninger with the Charleston Post and Courier. You guys played South Carolina last year. They had a running back, Kevin Harris, ended up leading the conference in rushing. What do you remember about him, about going up against him, trying to tackle him? How elusive was he and hard was he to bring down?
Oh, man. Harris, he was definitely a good back. He was pretty tough. You know, he was pretty tough to bring down, a solid runner. I definitely, if I recall, that was number 28, I recall. But, yeah, I definitely remember him. He was a pretty good back, and, you know, he really helped South Carolina. He kind of helped lead that offense last year. So, yeah, he's a pretty good back.
To your left, second row, Zach.
Hey, Mr. Carter. Chris Pinson, TV 20. For you entering this fifth year, you and Ventrell, the leaders on this team, how are you going to try and mold these young players to make sure this year is a lot different than last year, and that way, come September 18th, Alabama's ready to rock and roll against a pretty vaunted defense?
Man, it starts on everyday basis, you know, just creating that culture, you know, that we got to do what we got to do to get done. We know last year where we left off is not where we wanted to be, so we kind of had to raise the bar this whole off season, starting in the spring. And I think, you know, me and Ventrell have done a pretty good job of doing that. And, you know, it's not only me and Ventrell, it's other guys, you know, stepping up to the plate, and it's more leadership, you know, around the whole team. You know, guys are coming together, and I think we've done a pretty good job this offseason so far.
To your right, Zach, second row.
Hey, Zach, Mike Lucas with KXTV. Are you a fan of the proposed idea to expand the playoff to 12 teams, or do you like where it's at 4 teams right now?
You know, when I heard about 12 teams, I kind of was like, that might have been too many. Personally, I was thinking like 8. I think 8 would be pretty reasonable, just because, you know, 12 games, you might have to play like three extra games, you know. So I was thinking 8 games would be more reasonable.
Right here in the front row to your left.
Zach, has there been a different approach from Coach Grantham and the defensive staff to help you guys bounce back from last year?
Well, I'll say, you know, Coach Grantham and his staff, you know, our coaches, they show up every day and they coach us hard. You know, I say nothing has really changed. You know, we go on about our business every day. It's really how we attack the day, and you know, it's really how we go out there and handle our business in practice. You know, guys paying close attention to small details, little things that, you know, the margin of error is very small, and you know, we've been working on that this offseason.
To your right in the back row.
Zach, you know, a lot of the faces of the program are now in the NFL from last year. We all know Dan Mullen's a great motivator, but talk about the chip that your team has gone through this offseason program with to, you know, motivate yourself and maybe surprise some people this year.
Well, yeah, you know, we see things that, you know, are said about the Gators and whatnot, but like I said, this offseason, guys' heads been down, and we just been focusing on accomplishing one goal at the end of the year. And you know, I think it's good going into a season with a chip on your shoulder, because you know, it just gives you something to fall back on. And when guys have chips on their shoulder, you know, I seen guys working harder than ever this year. So, you know, I think it's a good thing that we had that chip on our shoulder this year. And you know, we want people to be surprised this year.
To your left in the back row.
Hey, Zach, Jacques Duce, WFB-TV in Baton Rouge. I want to ask you a couple of questions about LSU. The shoe toss thing last year, was that one of the strangest things you've been a part of? Did you even realize what had happened down the field?
I'll say, you know, I mean, I've never been in a game where that happened, but you know, it was just, you know, somebody got caught up in their emotions. You know, people get very passionate for the game, and you know, you can make a mistake sometimes. But no, I've never been a part of that though. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited to be back in Death Valley. You know, that's one of the great atmospheres in college football. So it'll be pretty interesting to go back there.
We have time for 2 more questions. The first over here to your left.
Zach, you guys are going to take on FAU to open the season at home in front of hopefully 90,000 screaming orange and blue fans. How exciting is that for you, and what's it going to be like, you think, to run back out in a tunnel with a normal circumstance of this season as opposed to last year?
Honestly, I can't wait, man. You know, I think about it all the time, just because, you know, last year it was unfortunate not to have, you know, all those fans out there. But I'm telling you, man, I think about it every day. It's really the best feeling ever, running out that tunnel and running in the swamp. I'm really excited.
Okay, our final question over here to your right, front row.
Hey, Zach, right here. You moved more interior into the line now. Do you feel more comfortable there? Would you rather go back out to the end at times, or do you feel like you're pretty set now on the interior?
I won't really like to put a label on myself, you know. I think I'm a pretty versatile player. You know, I like playing outside, you know, but wherever my team needs me, I fill in that role. But I kind of went back to playing more outside this year. Last year I had to play inside just to fill a little void at the beginning of the year. But as the year went on, they kind of moved me more outside. But I'll still be moving around. I'll still be moving around a lot this year.
Following up on that, wherever your team needs you, and I'm sorry if you've already addressed this, but you chose to come back when you could have easily left. What went into that decision?
Man, I just felt like we really had some unfinished business, and I wanted to be a part of that. You know, I remember after the SEC championship game, I probably stayed on the field for about 5 minutes after, you know, watching the confetti come down and all of that. And, you know, I'll never forget that moment. I was like, at that moment, I knew I was like, we'll be back. And, you know, I kind of made, you know, a promise to myself, you know, I'm going to give everything I got this year. And I'm going to try to, you know, help my team the best I can, help lead my team in some type of way. So,
Zach, thank you very much.
Thank you.